thank you for joining me. I want to know what your bird's eye view of reconciliation is. I'm not sure which committees you have that may or may not have a bite of this apple, but boy, Ways and Means was there all night long.
Well, we've got Ways and Means beat. I'm on Energy and Commerce. We did 26 and a half hours straight. It was, I mean, look, let me just get to 30,000 feet as the Republican Study Committee chairman, 189 members of this organization. We're trying to unleash American energy. We're going to spend money to make sure that we secure the border, that our DHS and Border Patrol officials have the right technology and the right manpower and the right resources to defend our country from the invasion we saw for the last 4 years. When it comes to taxes, we want to extend Trump's tax cuts. We have to preserve Medicaid for who it was designed for. That is pregnant women, children, those that are disabled and really need medical care instead of able-bodied adults who need to go get into the workforce and, quite frankly, get a better plan for themselves. So my bird's eye view is that we have put together a good bill. And now comes the hard work of making sure that we can knit it together and next week pass it and send it to the Senate and get this thing signed into law with speed, with aggressiveness, so that the American public knows that we are delivering on the promises that President Trump made and that he was elected to do. So I feel bullish about it, but there's a lot of hard work that's going to go into it this weekend and in the early part of next week.
Now, Representative Pfluger, I love the RSC, the study group. I addressed them when Jim Banks was the chair, and we had good fun. But I'm really more interested in energy and commerce at this particular moment. What in the world kept you there 26 hours?
Well, I'll tell you what kept us there is Democrats who are lying about the provisions, specifically the healthcare provisions. When they say we're going to cut benefits from children, that's false. When they say that benefits for disabled vets will be cut, that's false. The truth of it is that they offered dozens upon dozens of amendments that weren't going anywhere because they weren't realistic. And we need a conservative fix to this program. We want to deliver health care to people that need it. And quite frankly, I'd like to see it go a little further. When you consider that the federal government is spending 90% to the states 10% on an expanded population that includes able-bodied adults, we can go further and we can disincentivize reckless spending by states who are taking advantage of the federal government. So this conversation went round and round, and you saw just, some of the worst made arguments that really were based in fiction. But we did sit there all 26 straight hours. We pushed back, we set the record straight, and we ended up passing a really good bill.
You know, Congressman, I tell my audience again and again, in my time in California for 17 years in Orange County, I sat on the Children's and Families Commission. We gave around, small change from your perspective, $40 million a year for children's health care. And Medicaid is lousy insurance. That's the problem. That you can cover more people with lousy insurance, but it doesn't make doctors take it. The whole program is broken. Is anyone ever going to take on the program and actually deliver care to the needy and to the halt, the blind, and the lame? Because it ain't working.
Yeah, Hugh, you're right. And when you consider what Biden did to then expand it beyond able-bodied adults to deliver health care to illegal immigrants, which 1.4 million illegal immigrants are receiving Medicaid that we know about. And not to mention the fraudulently signed up, those who sign up in multiple states. Yeah, we are tackling it. And this bill doesn't fix everything, but it is a dadgum good start. And I'm proud of the work that's been done. I mean, just consider work requirements for those who are actually receiving benefits who was not designed for. You just mentioned disabled children. That's who I want to see benefits go to. The Democrats told stories of disabled children. They accused Republicans of trying to kick them off. Absolutely false. That is not true. We're preserving the program for those kids, and I have a huge heart for them. They're the ones that need the program, not an illegal immigrant who came here from El Salvador, who's 40 years old and thinks that the American government is responsible for his health care.
Yeah, I could tell you stories about pediatric dentists, not one of whom in Orange County who is not employed by the government, willing to see a Medicaid dental patient because the reimbursement rate is so low. So that's not really insurance. That's pretend insurance for which you pay, and it goes into somebody's pocket, but not a dentist, and the dental care doesn't arrive. So what happens next? You got these big bills come out of Ways and Means, Energy, and I don't know what the third one is. What's the third one? Agriculture.
Well, I mean, agriculture, you also had natural resources and Homeland and the Education Committee. So every committee virtually had a piece of this. And now we've got to knit it together through the Budget Committee. So the Budget Committee is going to start their work. In fact, they already have. They will put this thing together. There's still some things that need to probably get a little bit reshaped and tweaked. And I met with the speaker earlier with a group of folks, and just kind of, figuring out still some of the last 10% of this bill. And it'll go to Rules Committee after the Budget Committee passes the knitting together of the bill as one concise bill that all the committees added to. And then, if we stay on track, which I have no reason to believe that we're not going to, sometime midweek next week or towards the end of next week, we will vote on this. And this will be the most consequential vote that many have taken in the House of Representatives, because this is a legacy bill that for decades to come will chart the path of our country, that will right the wrongs of the Biden administration and will right the wrongs, quite frankly, of the Obama administration, to put us back on a path for prosperity, success, and security.
What's interesting to me, it's regular order. There's a printed bill. Everyone's working through markups. It's the way it's supposed to happen. Are you impressed by that?
Absolutely. It is regular order. And not only that, but when we send it to the Senate and they start looking at it, now we can get back to the business of regular order on our appropriations bills to get us into that position where what President Trump has looked at for fraud, waste, and abuse inside the agencies, now we can start to look at those as rescissions, and we can craft a budget that helps our military yet gains the efficiencies that they've already identified. So we are back to regular order. As RSC chairman, I'm 100% committed to making sure that we maintain that regular order and that we regain the trust of the American public.
Now, last question. Your Air Force Reserve, I don't know if you're retired or not. Are you still Colonel Pfluger, or are you retired?
I'm a colonel in the Air Force Reserve, still.
Okay, so don't be putting your thumb on the scale. The money needs to go to the Navy, Colonel. I just wanted to put that in there.
Well, I love that conversation. Hey, doesn't the Navy have enough ships? Don't we need some more airplanes?
Okay, I hope you get them both. Thank you, Congressman August Pfluger from Texas.